Adrian Carter, a perfectly unremarkable wage slave, was currently experiencing the most surreal moment of his life. He'd been sucked into a novel, specifically a trashy early 2010s billionaire romance he'd read called The CEO's Captive Heart. Even worse, he wasn't reborn as the all-powerful male lead, or even the brooding silent protector who was the second lead. Nope, he was reborn as the book's #1 schmuck, the ultimate simp, a side character who, of course, was also named Adrian. The original Adrian, a trust fund kid with a decent background, was head over heels for the story's female villain, his fiancée by arranged corporate marriage, Isabella Blackwood. He was at her beck and call, gave her his heart and soul, and even embezzled company funds to help her fight the male lead, Liam Sterling. It all ended with him in a prison jumpsuit, a truly pathetic end. And his beloved Isabella? She treated him like a tool from start to finish. Once she was done using him, she kicked him to the curb and dove headfirst into a toxic push and pull drama with the hero, Liam. Naturally, she lost that battle too, ending up bankrupt and alone. It was a spectacular, awe-inspiring lose scenario. Right now, Adrian was sitting on a leather sofa in Isabella Blackwood's office. The piece of luxury furniture beneath him was worth at least 6 figures, but he felt like he was sitting on a bed of nails. Across from him, Isabella, the book's Ice Queen CEO, the venomous villainess, was reviewing a document. She was wearing a tailored white pantsuit, her long hair twisted into a sleek bun that exposed a smooth forehead and a neck as graceful as a swan's. Sunlight streamed through the massive floor-to-ceiling windows, making her almost glow. Beautiful, undeniably beautiful. Cold, also undeniably cold. The book described her as a beauty devoid of a soul, like a finely carved ice sculpture. TCH, with those looks and that vibe, it was a crime she didn't become a movie star. Too bad she was dumb as a box of rocks, insisting on fighting the story's golden boy and getting her company driven into the ground. What a waste of a pretty face. As he was mentally roasting her, the woman buried in her paperwork moved. Her knuckles gripping a fountain pen seemed to tighten until they turned white. Ding! A mechanical, electronic voice echoed in his head without any warning. Ultimate Simp's system activated. Host, Adrian Carter, welcome to the world of the novel. The purpose of this system is to maintain the original plot. Simp to the end, and you shall have it all. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, please work hard to complete your simp missions, or you will be punished. Me? Holy crap, there's a system too? Standard issue for transmigrators, huh? And it's a goddamn simp system? Are you kidding me? You want me to die faster? Newbie mission issued. Say a classic simp line to your fiancée, Isabella Blackwood. Mission reward, 100,000. Failure penalty. Experience the heart-wrenching pain the original Adrian felt after being rejected by Isabella, 10 minutes. Heart-wrenching pain, so simulated heart attack. He had no desire to die young. He cleared his throat, summoned his inner actor, and looked up, fixing what he hoped was his most devoted, sincere gaze upon Isabella across from him. She had at some point put down her pen and looked up. Those beautiful almond-shaped eyes were staring right at him, a flicker of curiosity in them. Showtime. Actor mode engaged. He began, his voice dripping with so much honey it was sickening. Sarah, you've been working all morning. Don't push yourself too hard. To me, your health is more important than the whole world. He almost gagged on his own words. Isabella didn't speak. She just watched him, her expression unreadable, but her eyes seemed to hold something back. How's that for a performance? The Academy owes me an Oscar. Any second now, just like in the book, she's gonna find me annoying and greasy and tell me to get lost. Come on, tell me to get lost so I can collect my 100 grand. Ding. Mission complete. Reward has been deposited into your bank account. His phone vibrated. A notification from his banking app popped up. A deposit of 100,000 has been made to your checking account ending in XXXX on September at 12:05 p.m. Your new balance is 100,235.50. Wow, that was fast. Not bad, not bad. A few more missions like this, and he could retire early. He was celebrating internally, but his face remained a mask of lovesick devotion. Isabella's reaction, however, was completely off script. She didn't coldly say, "My business is none of your concern," or "get out," like the novel described. She just watched him for a few seconds, then picked up the intercom on her desk and pressed a button. Secretary Miller. Her voice was as cool as ever. Postpone my afternoon meetings. Secretary Miller on the other end sounded surprised, but Isabella didn't give her a chance to ask questions, ending the call immediately. Then she stood up and grabbed her jacket from the coat rack. Let's go, she said. Adrian was floored. Go? Go where? This isn't in the script, lady. You're not playing by the rules. Where are we going? The question slipped out. Isabella glanced at him, a look that he could only describe as watching an idiot. Didn't you say my health was the most important thing? She said flatly. We're getting lunch. Adrian was completely dumbfounded. This plot was all wrong. Why would the villainous Skip work to have lunch with him over one oily, simplistic line? Was she OOC? Or did the butterfly effect from his arrival just cause a hurricane? Sitting in the passenger seat of Isabella's Bentley, he was still in a state of surreal disbelief. This is wrong. This is very wrong. Isabella Blackwood in the book was a workaholic monster. She'd pull all-nighters for 3 days straight just to beat Liam Sterling to a project. What's with her today? A personality transplant? Or is she planning to torture me somewhere else, like poison my food? Alarm bells were screaming in his head. He frantically tried to recall if there was any scene like this in the book. There wasn't. Isabella drove, her eyes fixed on the road, her profile a hard, perfect line. Suddenly, she spoke, her voice quiet but crystal clear in the silent car. What do you want to eat? Holy hell, she's even asking what I want. Is this my last meal? His mind was racing, but a sycophantic smile automatically appeared on his face. Whatever you like. I like anything you like. A textbook simp answer, 10 out of 10. Ding. Random simp behavior triggered. Completion, excellent. Reward. Host's physical coordination has been slightly improved. Huh, there are bonus prizes? More of this, please. Isabella's fingers tightened on the steering wheel. Through the rearview mirror, he thought he saw the corner of her mouth twitch upward, just for a fraction of a second. Was he imagining things? An Ice Queen CEO smiling? If she smiled, the apocalypse must be right around the corner. Ultimately, Isabella pulled up to a high-end, exclusive-looking restaurant. It was elegant and understated, the kind of place a newly minted 100,000 and a ire like him couldn't afford. Nice, Ms. Blackwood. Very generous, picking a fancy place for my last meal. He followed a step behind her. After they were seated, the waiter handed them menus. Isabella pushed one directly in front of him. You order. Again, another test. Fine. The first rule of being a simp is to always put the other person's needs first. Without a thought, he pushed the menu back to her. His voice soft. You should order. I'm happy with anything, as long as I'm eating with you. Isabella stared at him, her gaze deep. As I recall, you don't eat spicy food. You're allergic to shellfish, and you don't like onions or garlic, she said slowly. With every word she spoke, his blood ran colder. He froze, because she was 100% correct. Those were the original Adrian's dietary restrictions. Me, someone who'd been here for less than a day, how was I supposed to remember all that? Damn it, I blew it. I was so focused on the simming, I forgot the character details. She must be suspicious. What do I do? How do I explain this? His brain went into overdrive, a cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. Got it. I'll just say that for her. I can't change anything. Just as he was about to speak, Isabella cut him off. She picked up the menu and spoke to the waiter. The pan-seared scallops, roasted chicken with root vegetables, an artisan kale salad, and a wild mushroom risotto. Hold the onions and garlic on everything. Thank you. She closed the menu and handed it back. The entire process was seamless, without a moment's hesitation. Adrian stared at her, his mind a complete blank. She remembered my preferences and ordered for me? Is this the same villainess who treated me like a disposable tool? The plot has gone off the rails, right? It has to be. Isabella picked up her water glass and took a delicate sip, seemingly oblivious to his shock. What are you staring at? She lifted an eyebrow. Don't you like it? Like it? I love it. This is a 5-star feast for a man on death row. He quickly shook his head, a dazed, flattered smile plastered on his face. I do. I love anything you pick. He spent the entire meal on edge. Isabella was quiet, eating with an elegance that made her look like a painting, but he constantly felt a gaze on him, watching, making the hairs on his neck stand up. Was she planning? What's her game? Is this one of those fatten the pig before the slaughter situations? Give me a little taste of kindness. Wait for me to fall completely, and then crush me? So evil. Truly the number one villainess of the cunning and ruthless. Ahem. Isabella cleared her throat softly and put down her fork. She dabbed her lips with her napkin and looked at him. Is there something on your mind lately? She asked coolly. Here it comes, the interrogation. She's gonna test me, his nerves screamed, but his face showed the perfect blend of confusion and concern. No, what's on my mind? The happiest part of my day is getting to see you. He nearly threw up in his mouth. Isabella's expression didn't change, but her hand hidden under the table tapped gently against her knee. It was a small, personal gesture he didn't recognize. Is that so? She replied noncommittally. She glanced at her phone. I have things to do this afternoon. I'll take you home first. That's it. No follow-up. All that thunder and no rain. He guessed he was just overthinking it. He let out a silent sigh of relief. The ride back was just as silent. As they neared his apartment building, Isabella's phone rang. She put on her Bluetooth earpiece. Her voice was low, but he still caught a few words. Liam Sterling? South Brooklyn Development? At all costs. His entire body went rigid. Here we go. The plot, though delayed, had arrived. The South Brooklyn Development was the first major battleground between Isabella and the hero, Liam Sterling. In the book, Isabella went all in on this project, and he, the Simp's sidekick, embezzled his family's company funds to help her. Liam Sterling used that as leverage, not only snatching the project, but also giving him a pair of shiny handcuffs. He became the first casualty of Isabella's failed corporate war. No way. I can't let her go for this project. It's a trap. Liam has plot armor. Fighting him is like playing Russian roulette with all the chambers loaded. I have to stop her. But how? If I tell her directly, she won't believe me. She'll think I have some ulterior motive. I've got it, an idea sparked. Just as Isabella hung up, the car pulled up to his building. He didn't get out right away. He turned to her, his face a mask of solemnity. Sarah, he began, his tone more serious than ever. Are you trying to compete with Liam Sterling for that South Brooklyn project? Isabella's eyebrow arched, surprised he knew about it. What if I am? It's happening. Time for his master class in acting. He took a deep breath, contorted his face into a complex expression of pain, conflict, jealousy, and resentment. I forbid it, he yelled, faking agitation. That Liam, he's bad news. I've heard he's been getting close to you lately. Are you interested in him? He paused at the perfect moment, looking like he was choking on the words. I call this move reverse psychology. Given Isabella's proud nature, the more jealous I acted, the more she'd see Liam as a prize to be won, doubling down her efforts to get the project. But my real goal was for her to hear my inner thoughts. Listen to me. That South Brooklyn project is a massive pit. It looks like a prime piece of real estate, but there's an undeclared historical preservation site buried underneath. Whoever develops it is screwed. Liam is a reincarnator. He knows the inside story, and he's digging a hole for you to fall into. Don't fall for it. You silly woman. If you go down, I'm next. I'd like to live a few more years, thanks, his mind was screaming. Isabella just watched his performance, her beautiful eyes swirling with dark, unreadable emotions. After a few long seconds, just as he thought she was about to call his bluff, she suddenly smiled. Yes, she smiled. Not a smirk or a sneer, but a very faint, slightly exasperated and amused smile. It vanished in an instant, but he saw it. His entire worldview cracked. She smiled. She actually smiled. Why? Was I acting that funny? Where does she find my jealousy pathetic? Adrian, Isabella said, her voice betraying no emotion. Are you worried about me? Duh. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about my own damn life. But his mouth said, with utter sincerity, of course I'm worried about you. You're the only person in the world I care about. Isabella gave him a long, deep look. Fine. I understand, she said. I'll handle the project. You should go. She practically kicked him out of the car. Standing on the sidewalk watching the Bentley speed away, his stomach was in knots. Did she listen? What does I understand even mean? Is she going to push forward or back off? Give me a straight answer, lady. Ding. Host has attempted to alter a key plot point. System warning. Please adhere to your simp duties and actively advance the plot. Failure to do so will trigger the struck by lightning penalty. Simulated electric shock. What the hell? Electric shocks? Is this a Simp system or a CIA black site simulator? He wanted to cry but had no tears. He spent the next day on pins and needles, terrified he'd see a news alert that Sterling Corp's bid had failed, its capital chain had collapsed, and the police were at his door to ask a few questions. But for 3 days, nothing happened. On the 4th day, as he was at home figuring out how to invest his system-rewarded money, he got a call from an unknown number. "Hello, is this Mr. Adrian Carter? This is the NYPD. His heart stopped. The phone nearly slipped from his hand. No way this fast. Did Isabella sell me out already? The person on the other end seemed to notice his silence. Don't be alarmed. Sir, we're just calling to verify something. A few days ago, did you happen to purchase a lottery ticket at the Lucky Star Bodega in South Brooklyn? A lottery ticket? Oh, right. After getting out of Isabella's car that day, he was so stressed that he passed a bodega and used the last 20 in his pocket to buy a quick pick ticket. Could it be? Yes, I did, he answered cautiously. Well, congratulations, Mr. Carter, the officer said, a smile in his voice. You've just won the largest jackpot in city history. The grand prize, $100 million after taxes. 100 million. He felt like he'd been struck by lightning for real. System, was this your doing? Ding. This system is only responsible for issuing mission rewards and does not participate in any form of gambling. The host's incredible luck is unrelated to this system. I'm a 100 millionaire. I'll pinch my cheek hard. It hurt. It was real. Me, Adrian Carter, a pathetic transmigrator, had hit the jackpot with a 20 lottery ticket. Ha 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 ha. With this money, who needs to be a simp? Isabella Blackwood, see you later. Liam Sterling, you can be the hero all you want. I'm out. I'm breaking off the engagement right now. Immediately, he did 2 victory laps around his living room before a chilling thought sobered him up. Hold on. I can't just break off the engagement. Isabella is a proud, arrogant woman. If her simp suddenly becomes a millionaire and tries to dump her, she'd probably have me killed, right? I needed a foolproof plan, a way to make her initiate the breakup without her losing face, and, most importantly, without her trying to get revenge on me. As he was racking his brain, his phone rang again. This time it was Isabella. Where are you? Her voice was as cool as ever. At home, he stammered, feeling a little guilty. Come downstairs. I'm picking you up. That same non-negotiable command again. What kind of trap is she laying for me this time? Despite his internal complaints, he obediently went downstairs. Isabella's car was already waiting. He got in and noticed she wasn't in a pantsuit today. She wore a casual cream-colored sweater and jeans, and her hair was down, softening her sharp edges. What's up? He asked. Plain and simple. You're coming with me to a gala, she said. What gala? The one Liam Sterling is hosting. His heart sank. Damn it, Liam again. Why is this guy always around? Ding. Main quest issued. At the gala, cooperate with Isabella Blackwood to thoroughly humiliate the male lead, Liam Sterling. Mission reward. Master level fighting skills. Failure penalty. Randomly lose 1 bodily function, e.g., sense of smell, taste, for 24 hours. What the hell? Humiliate Liam? System, are you broken? I'm the simp's sidekick. How am I supposed to humiliate the chosen one? And isn't Isabella supposed to be the one getting humiliated by him? I was officially lost. This plot had veered off into Siberia. Isabella ignored his internal meltdown and drove. The car sped through the city, stopping in front of a high-end private club. Standing at the entrance was a tall, handsome man with a practiced smile, the book's hero, Liam Sterling. The moment Liam saw Isabella, he strode over, his face a perfect picture of surprise and admiration. Sarah, you came. You look beautiful tonight. His gaze passed right over him, as if he were thin air. Ugh, so greasy, even greasier than me. This guy's like a peacock on display. Isabella just gave a slight nod and looped her arm through his. His entire body stiffened. Holy crap, she took my arm. She initiated contact. Did hell freeze over? Liam's smile froze on his face. He finally deigned to look at him, a flash of contempt in his eyes. And this is, he asked, fully knowing the answer. Before Isabella could speak, he stood up straighter, like a triumphant, I'm the real deal smile on his face. Nice try, buddy. 2 can play at this game. Hi, Adrian Carter, he said, enunciating every syllable. Isabella's fiancé. The color drained from Liam's face. Isabella's arms squeezed his gently, as if telling him not to overdo it. Well, well, the leading lady is getting protective of her nominal fiancé. Interesting. He could feel the heat from her hand through his suit jacket. Throughout the evening, Liam was like a fly, constantly buzzing around Isabella. One minute he was reminiscing about their families being old friends, how they were childhood sweethearts. The next, he was painting a future where he and Isabella, united, would be unstoppable in the business world. Adrian stood by her side like a well-behaved prop, a polite smile on his face while mentally cursing him out. Is this guy blind? Can't he see Isabella's face is about to turn to ice, and he just keeps talking? And childhood sweethearts? You were abroad for 8 years without a word. Now that her company's successful, you crawl back claiming it's true love? What a scumbag. And a partnership? Don't make me laugh. You just want to absorb her family's business. What do you think you're fooling? His inner commentary was on fire. Isabella held her champagne flute, her expression blank, but her free hand by her side had clenched into a fist. Finally, Liam showed his true colors. He raised his glass, addressing the crowd. Everyone, thank you for coming. Besides our little get-together, I have an announcement to make. He paused, his eyes burning with intensity as he looked at Isabella. As you all know, Sterling Corp has voluntarily withdrawn from the South Brooklyn project. However, I believe such a fantastic project must include the Blackwoods. Therefore, I have decided to invest $5 billion into Sterling Corp to jointly develop the waterfront. The room erupted in gasps. $5 billion. That was no small sum. Liam wore a triumphant smile, as if he weren't investing but granting charity. All eyes turned to Isabella, waiting for her reaction. Adrian watched her, his heart pounding. Don't you dare accept, you silly woman. He's setting a trap. He'll use that $5 billion to dilute your shares and swallow your company whole. Besides, the project is a dud. He'll dump the contaminated land on you and keep the good part for himself. It's a Trojan horse. Refuse him now. Under the intense scrutiny of the entire room, Isabella slowly set down her glass. Her red lips parted, and she spoke 2 words. Not necessary. Liam's smile froze. Sarah? I said it's not necessary. Isabella's voice was quiet, but carried an undeniable authority. Sterling Corp may not be as large as the Hayes Empire, but we haven't fallen so low as to need handouts. As for the South Brooklyn project, she paused, the corner of her mouth curling into an icy smirk. A project buried under a pile of broken pottery that could be shut down at any moment? Whoever wants it can have it. I, Isabella Blackwood, am not interested. A bomb went off in the room. Broken pottery? A historical preservation site? What kind of bombshell was this? The color drained from Liam's face, leaving it a pasty white. His biggest secret, the golden ticket from his reincarnation, had just been casually exposed to the public by Isabella. He stared at her, his eyes filled with shock and disbelief. You, how would you possibly know? How does she know? She heard it from me, of course. Haha. Surprised, aren't you? Didn't see that coming. Adrian was cackling internally, barely restraining himself from breaking into a dance. Ding. Main quest. Humiliate the male lead. Complete. Reward. Master-level fighting skills has been granted. A hot current surged through his limbs. Countless fighting techniques flooded his mind, and his muscle memory felt like it had been rewritten. Holy crap, that's intense. Can I take on 10 guys now? Isabella didn't answer Liam's question. She just shot him a cold glance, and then did something that made every jaw in the room drop. She turned to him, stood on her toes, and in front of everyone, planted a soft, gentle kiss on his cheek. A warm, delicate touch that was over in an instant. Adrian turned to stone. His brain, aside from those 3 exclamation points, was completely empty. Let's go. Isabella's voice was in his ear. She took his rigid hand, and under the stunned gaze of the entire party, walked out with her head held high. He was still reeling from the kiss long after they were back in the car. His cheek felt like it was still on fire. She kissed me. Isabella Blackwood kissed me. What kind of plot twist is this? Has the script gone insane? Could it be? Could she be falling for me? The thought itself was so shocking it scared him. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. She's the Ice Queen CEO, the evil villainess. How could she fall for a simp like me? She's just using me. Yes, that has to be it. Kissing me in public was a way to make a clean break with Liam, to put on a show for everyone. I was so naive to even entertain such a ridiculous fantasy. He was busy talking himself down when Isabella spoke from the driver's seat. What are you thinking about? Nothing, he stammered. Is that so? She started the car, her tone unreadable. I thought you might be wondering why I kissed you. What the hell? Is she a mind reader? He jumped in his seat. The last meal? A trap, dumping a body. Adrian, is your imagination always this vivid? She pressed on, twisting the knife. I just wanted to tell Liam to stop bothering me. She explained coolly, as if discussing the weather. Just as I thought. I knew it. I'm just a tool. Confirmed. He felt a pang of disappointment, but mostly he was relieved. Okay, good. The plot has only gone off-roading. It hasn't driven off a cliff. She doesn't like me. That's good. It'll make it easier to break off the engagement later with less guilt. The car moved smoothly through the night. After a moment, Isabella asked another question. How did you know about the South Brooklyn project? Here it was, the million-dollar question. He obviously couldn't tell her he was from another world and had read the script. His mind raced, and he started fabricating a story. I have a distant cousin who works for the Historical Preservation Society. We had dinner a few days ago, and he mentioned offhand that they were looking into a potential site in South Brooklyn. I didn't think much of it then, but when I heard Liam talking today, it all clicked. This excuse is perfect, flawless. He gave himself a mental pat on the back for his quick thinking. Isabella didn't say anything, just drove in silence. The car filled with a strange, heavy quiet. Did she buy it? She must have, right? It's not like she'd suspect I was reincarnated too. Liam's the only one with that power-up in this book. But I have to admit, she was incredible tonight. That public takedown of Liam was legendary. The Ice Queen truly lives up to her name. Even though I was used as a tool, it felt pretty damn good. He was basking in the afterglow of the evening's victory when Isabella suddenly pulled the car over. They weren't at his place or hers. They were at a quiet spot by the river. She killed the engine, unbuckled her seat belt, and turned to face him. In the dim light, her bright, clear eyes locked onto his. Adrian, she said his name, her voice soft but with a gravity he'd never heard before. Yeah. He felt a jolt of anxiety. What now? Is she going to kill me? This place is deserted, perfect for dumping a body. Your inner thoughts just now, she asked, enunciating every word. Were they all true? His brain short-circuited with a deafening buzz. Inner thoughts. What does she mean? Could it be? An illogical, impossible theory struck him like a bolt of lightning. No, it can't be. Can she hear what I'm thinking? He stared at her in horror, searching her face for any sign that she was joking. There was none. Her expression was terrifyingly serious. System, get in here. What is going on? The female lead has a superpower, and you didn't tell me. Ding. Anomaly detected. Due to the energy fluctuations caused by the host's transmigration, certain character settings in this world have undergone unknown mutations. The female lead, Isabella Blackwood, appears to have acquired the ability to hear inner thoughts. Son of a bitch. In that moment, he genuinely wanted to die. You want to talk about social suicide? This was the ultimate social apocalypse. All his previous mental complaints about her, about the plot, his fantasies about becoming a millionaire. She heard all of it. No wonder she suddenly skipped work to have lunch with him, remembered his dietary restrictions, abandoned the South Brooklyn project, and helped him humiliate Liam at the gala. She was watching a show the entire time, watching him, this clown, jump around thinking he was so clever. His face flushed, a hot wave of embarrassment crawling from his cheeks to his ears and down his neck. He wanted to throw open the car door and dive into the river just to cool off. So, Isabella continued, watching him practically self-combust with shame, a barely perceptible smile in her eyes. In your mind, I'm a silly woman who is dumb as a box of rocks. She was quoting him. I'm dead. Don't resuscitate. Just let me go with dignity. No, I didn't. He mumbled incoherently, his voice barely a whisper. It's over, it's all over. She's definitely going to kill me now. Of all the people to offend, I offended the book's final boss. Can master-level fighting skills beat her team of bodyguards? Asking for a friend. It's urgent. And Isabella pressed on, twisting the knife. Last meal, a trap, dumping a body. Adrian, is your imagination always this vivid? He ducked his head, wishing he could shrink into nothing. At that moment, He finally understood all her strange behavior before. It was all her messing with him. She was like a cat that had found a new toy, watching with amusement as he, the mouse, scurried around, puffed up with pride, thinking he was in control. The humiliation was unbearable. It was worse than death. What do you want from me? He finally looked up, throwing caution to the wind. Isabella looked at his cornered animal expression and at last let out a low laugh. Her laughter was like a clear spring flowing over jade stones, crisp and beautiful. With her icy shell stripped away, her smile was so bright it was dazzling. He was mesmerized. So this is what she looks like when she laughs. I don't want anything, she said, her laughter subsiding. She looked at him with something he'd never seen in her eyes before, genuine interest. I just find that you are much more interesting than I initially thought. Interesting? I gave a bitter laugh. Looking like an idiot in front of you is fun for you, yes? She admitted with a startling frankness. It's more entertaining than staring at financial reports. Me? Fine, I give up. If I can bring a little joy to the Ice Queen CEO's life, I guess my death as a tool will have been worth it. So now that you know my secret, he asked cautiously, what are you going to do with me? Tell me straight. I can take it. Isabella raised an eyebrow. Your secret? You mean the one where you aren't the original Adrian? Or the one where you know this world is a book? She knows about that too. He gave up all resistance. All right, cards on the table. Yes, I'm not the original Adrian. I'm from outside this world, from the real world. I know the entire plot, everyone's ending. You, Isabella Blackwood, the book's #1 villainess, will end up bankrupt and miserable. So everything I did before was to protect myself and also to protect you. He laid it all out. There was no point in hiding anything now. Isabella listened quietly, her expression unchanging, as if her own tragic ending was no surprise to her. So you've been wanting to break our engagement because of this? She asked. Yes, he nodded. And when you won that 100 million from a lottery, you wanted to break it off immediately because you thought you could finally get away from a problem like me? Yes, his voice was even lower. The car fell silent again. This time the atmosphere was even heavier. He could feel that Isabella's mood had soured. Did I say something wrong? I just told the truth. Why does she seem unhappy? Don't tell me she actually wanted to marry the original Simp. No way. After a long moment, Isabella finally spoke again, her voice tinged with cold. Adrian, listen to me very carefully. First, we are not breaking the engagement. His head snapped up. Why? Because it's interesting, she said, her gaze leaving no room for argument. Until you become boring, this engagement stands. Me? So I'm your new toy, is that it? Second, she held up a second finger. From now on, your job is no longer to be a simp. Oh, this is new. Your new job is to be my plot forecaster and my human shield. You will be responsible for predicting Liam's next move and helping me block him. Adrian was a little dazed. What's in it for me? I'm not doing anything for free. I'm 100 millionaire. Why should I work for you? Isabella seemed to have anticipated this. A small smile played on her lips as she offered a deal he couldn't refuse. I can help you deal with people you don't want to deal with and protect things you don't want to lose. Furthermore, you will receive 10% of the profits from all of Sterling Corp's future successful ventures. Adrian sucked in a sharp breath. Holy crap, 10% of Sterling Corp's profits? That's way more than my 100 million. And I get her as my backer to take on Liam, to protect my future life of leisure. The offer was too good. Deal. He agreed without a shred of hesitation. What is integrity in the face of money and a comfortable life? It's worthless. Isabella nodded, satisfied. Good. She started the car again. A pleasure doing business with you, my Mr. Oracle. Mr. Oracle? I like the sound of that. He leaned back in his seat, feeling smug. Crisis averted, and I just latched onto the most powerful ally imaginable. His new life in this novel was starting to get interesting. After striking his strategic partnership with Isabella, his life became ridiculously comfortable. He no longer had to perform those cringy simp routines. He just had to maintain the basic persona of a devoted fiancé in public, while his inner monologue provided a running commentary of plot spoilers and snark. And Isabella, the Ice Queen CEO, began to show her true cunning colors. She loved watching him maintain a serious facade while freaking out on the inside and would then, with an all-knowing look, slowly spring a trap on him. For instance, She'd insist he sit in on high-level board meetings right next to her. A room full of business elites would be discussing multi-million-dollar projects while he, a guy whose only ambition was to be a professional slacker, sat there on pins and needles. So boring. What are they even talking about? So many numbers, my brain hurts. Hey, that bald VP's toupee is a little crooked. Isabella looks so hot when she's in boss mode. Wait, what am I thinking? She's my partner, my boss. As his mind wandered, Isabella, from the head of the table, would suddenly call his name. Adrian, what are your thoughts on the risk assessment for this project? He'd snap back to reality. The eyes of the entire room instantly locked on him. I don't know jack about risk assessment. Help me. She's doing it again. She's messing with me. What am I supposed to say? That the project will be a huge success? Or that it'll fail so hard we'll all lose our shirts? Got it. He cleared his throat, picked up a document from the table for show, and then said to Isabella with a grave expression, I think the biggest risk with this project is that it will take up too much of your time. Your health is the most important thing. The line was a masterpiece of sophisticated simpering. It answered the question while staying true to his character. He was a genius. The boardroom fell into a dead silence. All the executives stared at him like he had grown a second head. Huh, you guys don't get it, do you? This is the art of high-level simpering. Isabella's face was blank, but under the table, her hand clamped down on his thigh. The pressure was light, but the warning was clear. Ouch, she's trying to kill her fiancé. Adrian is right. Isabella actually nodded. Meeting adjourned. Mr. Peterson, you stay. We'll talk privately. The VP with the toupee instantly went pale. As we walked out the conference room, my legs felt like jelly. You did that on purpose, he accused her in a hushed voice. You were the one spacing out, she replied coolly. I was just giving you an opportunity to shine. Me? He had no comeback. Besides tormenting him at work, she used him to maximum effect in her war against Liam. After his public humiliation, Liam laid low for a while, but he soon returned with a new strategy. He started playing the sentimental card. No more business talk. Now he was the caring family friend, launching an all-out charm offensive. One day it was flowers, the next it was jewelry, the day after he booked out an entire five-star restaurant to surprise her. And every single time, Isabella dragged him along. Inside the restaurant, Liam had the whole place decorated romantically, with a violinist playing in the corner. He approached Isabella with a ridiculously large bouquet of dyed blue roses. Sarah, I know you love blue. I had these flown in from Holland. Standing beside Isabella, he let out a perfectly timed sneeze. Achoo. Sorry about that. I think I'm allergic to pollen. He wore his most innocent expression. Oh my God, those blue roses are so tacky. They look like something you'd bring to a funeral. Liam's taste is just awful. Doesn't he know Isabella hates flashy, impractical gestures? Liam's face turned a shade of green. Isabella gave him a cool glance. That's very thoughtful, Liam. However, my fiancé is allergic. We appreciate the sentiment. With that, she took his arm and turned to leave, leaving Liam and his blue roses standing alone in the ridiculously romantic restaurant. On the way back, he couldn't stop laughing. Did you see his face? It was like a kaleidoscope of misery. It was hilarious. Isabella drove, a faint smile on her lips. You seem to be enjoying this. Of course, he said. Watching him squirm makes me happy. Ding. Host's continued humiliation of the male lead has been detected. The Simp system is undergoing an unknown mutation. Mutation vector, wife-doting demon system. Warning, system logic conflict, rebooting. Wife-doting demon system. What the hell is that? No, I don't want to be a simp or a wife-doter. I just want to be a regular, ordinary 100-millionaire. Isabella's smile deepened. Is that so, she said. Well then, you can look forward to seeing more of it. Their days fell into a strange, chaotic, yet harmonious rhythm. A unique kind of understanding formed between them. He was the oracle and the professional pot stirrer, and she was the frontline general. Together, they ran circles around Liam, completely wrecking the original plot. Several times, Liam tried to use the schemes from the book against her, but he would predict them in advance, allowing Isabella to turn the tables on him, causing him to lose millions. The way he looked at Adrian had shifted from contempt to pure hatred. He had no doubt that if looks could kill, he'd be dead 1,000 times over. But with Isabella as his backer, he wasn't scared in the slightest. Yeah, come at me, bro. He even started mentally taunting him right to his face. And every time, right after his internal monologue, Isabella would freeze him in place with a single, icy glare. They were a perfect team, one playing good cop, the other bad cop. He gradually realized that Isabella seemed to be changing. She wasn't an unapproachable ice mountain anymore. She talked more and even joked with him sometimes. She would call him herself when he tried to sleep in, have her personal chef send over healthy lunches when he was about to order a greasy takeout. And when he got sick, she dropped everything to take care of him. One day, he got caught in the rain and came down with a fever. He figured he'd just take some medicine and sleep it off, but by midnight, it had gotten worse. In a daze, he felt a cool cloth on his forehead. He forced his eyes open and saw Isabella sitting by his bed. She was still in her work clothes, her face etched with fatigue and worry. What are you doing here?" His throat was raw. "You weren't answering your phone." "I was worried," she said, touching his forehead. "You're burning up. Why didn't you go to the hospital?" "Holy crap. How did she know I wasn't answering? Did she call me? She came all the way from her office in the middle of the night to take care of me? That's too much." A warm feeling spread through his chest. It was unfamiliar but comforting. "I'm fine. I just need to sleep," he said. "No. Going to the hospital." Her tone left no room for argument. And then she literally hauled him out of bed, threw a jacket over his shoulders, and half carried him downstairs and into her car. At the ER, she rushed around, handling his registration, payment, and picking up his prescription. He sat on a bench, watching her busy figure, a storm of emotions churning inside him. "She's not actually so bad. She's cunning and loves to mess with me. But she has a good heart. If there was no plot, no Liam, what would we be?" For the first time, he seriously considered the question. By the time the IV drip was finished, it was early morning. Isabella drove him home, tucked him into bed, and then personally made him some congee. "Eat this before you sleep," she said, handing him the bowl. He looked at the steaming porridge and his nose started to sting. "Isabella," he said her name. "Humph. Thank you. I'm in it." She paused, then turned her head away, her voice slightly unnatural. "I'm your fiancé. It's my duty to take care of you." Ding. Wife doting demon system module successfully loaded. New mission issued. Give your wife a heartfelt hug. Mission reward. Couples telepathy allows temporary sharing of a visual field. Failure penalty. Uncontrollable hiccups for 24 hours. Me? This system has the worst timing. But looking at Isabella's softened profile in the warm lamplight, he suddenly felt that this mission wasn't so bad. He put down the bowl, took a deep breath, and wrapped his arms around her from behind. Her body went rigid. He could feel her heart start to race. His was racing too. "She's so slender. Feels like I could break her if I held on too tight. She smells really nice, a faint, clean scent. Adrian, what are you?" "Don't move," he mumbled, burying his face in the crook of her neck. Just for a second, she didn't move. They just stood there, holding each other in the quiet room. Time seemed to stop. He didn't know how long they stayed like that. It wasn't until the system pinged that the mission was complete that he reluctantly let go. Ding. Mission complete. Reward. Couples telepathy has been granted. This skill requires mutual consent to activate. He saw the blush on the tips of Isabella's ears, and a strange feeling began to bloom in his chest. "I'm screwed. I think I'm actually falling for her." After that night, the atmosphere between Isabella and him grew even more complicated. They were no longer just strategic partners. They were more like a couple, awkwardly testing the waters, clumsily trying to get closer. This realization terrified him. He was a transmigrant. She was a character in a book. Could there really be a future for them? He started to subconsciously avoid her. When she called, he'd make an excuse and hang up. When she asked him to dinner, he'd say he wasn't feeling well. He thought that by creating distance, he could cool down his unruly heart. He was wrong. The more he avoided her, the more he thought about her. He thought about the porridge she made him, the worried look in her eyes, the gentle scent that clung to her. He paced his apartment restlessly, feeling like he was going insane. Bing. Host's cold shoulder behavior has been detected, a severe deviation from the wife-doting demon main quest. Final warning. Cease your self-destructive actions immediately and apologize to your wife. Self-destructive? I'm trying to save myself. Any more of this, and I'll be completely lost. I can't fall for her. She's a character in a book. She's not real. Ding. Warning ignored. Penalty protocol initiated. For the next hour, the host will randomly speak his true inner thoughts out loud. Me? Oh no, 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 not that. Ding. Dong. The doorbell rang. His heart dropped into his stomach. He had a very bad feeling about this. He looked through the peephole, and his scalp went numb. It was Isabella. Why was she here? He scrambled, looking for a place to hide. Don't open the door. Absolutely do not open the door. The second I open my mouth, it's all over. But his body, no longer under his control, walked to the door and opened it. Standing in the hallway was Isabella, dressed in a sleek black trench coat and holding a thermos. She saw him and paused, her brow furrowing. Have you been avoiding me? She asked, straight to the point. No, I just needed some space to think. He was afraid that if he saw her again, he wouldn't be able to stop himself. To his absolute horror, his mouth opened. I was afraid that if I saw you again, I wouldn't be able to stop myself from kissing you. Isabella? The air turned to lead. He wanted to bite his own tongue off. Isabella's expression shifted from stunned to shocked to a flicker of something that looked like joy. The tips of her ears turned red again. What? What nonsense are you talking? She stammered, looking away. I'm not talking nonsense. It's what I'm thinking. I'm also thinking I also want to hold you while I sleep, his treacherous mouth shouted. Isabella's entire face turned scarlet. She looked like a cooked lobster. Adrian, she hissed, mortified and angry, and turned to leave. Panicked, he grabbed her hand. Don't let her go? I haven't explained. Don't go, let me explain. That's not what I meant. I mean, I like you. It was over. His life was over. He had never been so embarrassed. He squeezed his eyes shut, waiting for Isabella's judgment, a slap maybe, or a cold, cut it out. But after a long moment, nothing happened. He peeked through one eye. Isabella was looking at the floor, silent. Her hand, still in his, was clenched tight, her fingertips cold. Isabella, he asked tentatively. She looked up, her beautiful eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Adrian, her voice trembled slightly. What you just said, was it all true? Ding. Penalty period has ended. Thank God. He finally had control of his body back. Seeing her like this, his heart ached with a tender softness. Forget it. If I can't run from it, I won't. If I like her, I like her. Even if there's no future, at least I won't betray the present. He took a deep breath and nodded solemnly. Yes, it's all true. He looked her in the eye and said, word by word, Isabella Blackwood, I like you. Not because you're a character in a book or the CEO of Sterling Corporation. Just because you're you. A tear finally escaped and rolled down her cheek. It wasn't a tear of sadness, it was joy. She threw herself into his arms, holding him so tightly it felt like she was trying to merge with him. You idiot, she whispered into his ear, her voice thick with emotion. I've been waiting to hear you say that for so long. He froze. She likes me too? As if she could feel his thoughts, Isabella nodded hard against his chest. Yes. He felt like he had been hit by the greatest happiness in the world. He hugged her back just as tightly, feeling like he was holding his entire world. Just as they were lost in the moment, an unwelcome voice cut through the air. Sarah? It was Liam. He was standing at the end of the hallway, staring at them in shock. In his hands was a bouquet of white lilies. Holy crap, white lilies. Dude, are you professing your love or attending a funeral? Liam's face turned black. He glared at Adrian, his eyes practically shooting flames. Adrian, you despicable bastard. What did you do to her? He roared, charging at him. He instinctively moved Isabella behind him. Perfect timing. I just got master-level fighting skills, and I've been itching to try them out. But before he could make a move, Isabella stepped out from behind him, her expression cold as she faced Liam. Liam, I suggest you show some respect. Adrian is my fiancé. What we do is none of your business. Fiancé. Liam laughed a bitter, angry sound. Sarah, don't let him fool you. He's a worthless simp. He's not good enough for you. Not good enough? Isabella smiled, a breathtakingly beautiful smile that was laced with ice. In my eyes, he's 1,000 times better than you. At the very least, he isn't selfish and deceitful, willing to do anything to get what he wants. Liam was speechless. And another thing. Isabella glanced at the white lilies in his hand and said coldly, Take your flowers and get out. I don't want to see you again. Liam's face cycled through shades of purple and green. In the end, he didn't dare challenge Isabella directly. He shot him one last venomous glare and stormed off in defeat. The crisis was averted. Adrian looked at Isabella, filled with awe. My wife is such a badass. Isabella, hearing his thought, blushed again. She shot him a playful glare. What are you thinking about now? Then she pushed the thermos into his hands. I made you soup. Drink it while it's hot. Without another word, she turned and walked away, her steps a little too quick, as if she were fleeing the scene. He watched her retreating back and couldn't help but smile. Who knew that when an iceberg melted, it could be so adorable? Their relationship from that day on progressed at lightning speed. He became a regular at Isabella's penthouse, and she became the undisputed lady of his heart. They ate together, took walks together, and curled up on the sofa to watch movies. He would provide a running commentary on the plot holes, and she would listen, laughing softly. The feeling was peaceful and warm. He knew Liam wouldn't give up. He was like a snake hiding in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. But he wasn't afraid because this time, he wasn't fighting alone. He had Isabella by his side, and she had him. They were each other's rock. To hell with the plot. To hell with the chosen one. His destiny was his own to write, and the woman he loved, he would be the one to give her a happy ending.